Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong, and I am going to start playing with my FUN-PAX from this week. And I love the way these turned out, by the way. I'm also happy about the labels, and just it was so much fun packaging everything up. One of the FUN-PAX has already gone out because the box would fit in my large mailbox. But the others I'm going to the post office with first thing in the morning. So they will all go out early in the morning. Anyway, it's a fun experience. But I want to make a new trashy everyday journal. And I want to show the whole process. I've just kind of got everything sitting out here, and I'm not 100% sure yet what I'm going to do. You kind of probably know how I am with that sort of thing. I just do, I don't know, whatever seems like it fits. I did go ahead and cut out 2 pieces of cardboard, and I think I'm going to try to stick with the blues, the greens, especially since those colors were heavy in the fabric this time. I think it helps. And I got to change this water too. I can see pink in the water. That's okay. I'm going to try maybe not to be going with a whole lot of pink this time, but I cannot guarantee anything. I probably haven't let the water sit long enough, but what I'm doing right now is just trying to tear some of this paper off from the outside so that we can see the little ripples there. The flutes, that's our fancy word. Ooh, yeah, starting to see everything. And I want to use the fabric, some of the fabric on the cover as well, so I don't think we need to do this to both sides. We're just going to do it maybe to the outside so that we can paint it and have that really pretty look on the outside. I don't know, I'm starting to pull too much off maybe. There, that's good. I just wanted at least all around the edges for that to show. And then, let's see, maybe we don't even need the water. Wow. Okay, that whole thing pulled off without any water at all. So this is going to be the outside. And what size is this? This is about 7 1/4, 7.5 by 9, something like that. So it's not a perfect size for like an 8.5 by 11 to be folded, or even this 12 by 12. You see it's a little bit short. I'm not going to worry about that because I know that we can tape other pieces of paper to the pages to get them to come all the way out if we want them to. Let me, for right now, put the papers to the side so that I don't get paint or anything on them. We'll put the fabric right here. And, okay. I think I want this to be the front. This will be the back. We're going to be putting some fabric on the inside, maybe even some on the outside too, but I don't want the fabric in the paint. So let's go ahead and paint the outsides of these. Maybe start pulling out some greens and blues. That's pretty. That sounds really thin. That sounds medium. And this is really thick. But I do love that color. Ooh, I do love that color. And let's change this water. Well, that's a little bit better. It's not perfect, but we had a lot of rain yesterday afternoon, and the ground is wet, and I've got on my huge dinosaur bell bottoms, and I'm just not interested in walking all the way across to where the water hose is at the garden. So I keep a big container of water. It's one of those big plastic containers that had cat litter in it. I rinsed it out, filled it up with water so that I have, you know, at least a couple of gallons right outside the door that I can use. Ooh, that is so pretty. And let's put some blue in here. And it's okay if it's kind of thick in some places. I mean, you know, if you want some texture from paint, you can do that. Just have to let it dry. Kind of reminds me of those old globes with the earth and all the, you know, the different continents, that color. This is metallic. I wonder if we need a little bit of this. Not a whole lot. I'll put a little bit. I think we need maybe a darker blue. Wait, I know I gotta have something this. Yes, and it's actually sort of shaking around here. Oh my goodness, that's pretty. Don't want to mix it in too much with. Let's rinse the brush off a little bit. We can always come back as well with the paint again. This doesn't have to be it, but you know, we just want to get started building our cover. Okay, let me dry this a little bit. Okay, it's not completely dry, but I think it's dry enough. We do have some little pools of paint down here in down in those little valleys. And let's see, were we gonna make this the front and this the back? And again, we can keep adding paint to the outside. And I think it's gonna be really pretty to kind of mimic some of these darker lines in this fabric on the cover. And so this is a good time maybe to talk about what's in the FUN-PAX. I have used them before in a way that I used everything in the FUN-PAX, just to show how much fun it is to put all these wonderful random things together. Oh, this is so pretty. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to incorporate this, or if I will incorporate this. One of the reasons is that this is such a beautiful, heavy upholstery fabric. I think this would be so beautiful in a small fabric slow stitch journal, or one of the little prayer card journals that I make. So I'm not going to use this for right now. And you can do that with your FUN-PAX. You get things that you can put up for the next project or whatever. So I am going to just take this. A lot of times I cut the selvage off, but I don't think I'm going to do that this time. I like the way it's unraveled there. I'm just going to cut this in half. I will cut some of these strings off. You know, fabric is different the way it unravels. Heavy cotton fabrics, when they unravel, it kind of leaves a pretty edge, in my opinion. Sometimes if the fabric is a blended, like a mixed fabric that's got nylon or polyester or, you know, whatever, it can end up, the unraveling looks tangled. It can just look matted. So sometimes I do cut that off. Now, for this part, do we want that fabric hanging over like that? That is kind of pretty. So let me get my tacky glue. I'm going to have to get some more glue soon. Oh, look. Got this little blob here. I want it especially out here at the edges. So I've glued this in, and I'm wondering if I should have painted the cardboard on this side. I didn't really even think about that, but I don't worry too much about things like that because usually there is a way to fix things. Let's go ahead and paint this, especially out on the edges. And it's fun to get the paint on here too. And for this other one that we've already put the fabric on, I'm not worried about that because we can, it's not dry yet. We can come along the edge here and add this pretty color, and we can come back and add more glue if we need to. So let's just put some color under here. Yeah, that makes a world of difference. I should have done that beforehand, but I wasn't really thinking about that much of the cardboard showing. So we have that. And I think that is fine. So let's put some glue down. Got that paint all mixed in there. That's okay. I'm not worried about that. And then, let's see. That's going to be like that. Let's just lay this down right here. And this edge with the selvage is going to be on the inside back cover. So that's where that's going to show up. And I like that there. So now we have front and back, and there's so much more that we can do and that we're going to do. I want to think about how I'm going to do the spine. I'm not really sure yet. I do like sewing signatures in with the sewing machine. I also like doing things in a really simple way so that it's easy for everybody to do in case you don't have a sewing machine. And Janine, I think it was you who mentioned in the Facebook group that you do just 2 holes. I love doing that too. And I thought, wow, I'm so inspired by that because it really is a great way to do things. But my question right now is, do I want a fabric covered spine in here? We could do that. Could do one with this. What to do, what to do. I was also thinking about putting strips of fabric across. Okay, let's do this. Let me get a piece of cardboard and cut it the right height, you know, which is whatever this is, maybe a tiny bit shorter because we're going to wrap it with fabric. And I need to decide how wide I want the spine. We want it big enough to play in this for a while. What if we did, but then it gets kind of hard to work in if it's too big. Maybe about 3.5 inches. Let's try that. Okay, here's this. It is just a tiny bit shorter. It's a little less than 8.5. I think this is about 8.5 inches tall. And this is exactly 3.5 inches wide. So let's go ahead and take this fabric. And I really do not want to get paint on the fabric. I can see I've already got a little bit of paint on here. That's probably where I picked it up with paint on my fingers. So let's move this where it can keep drying. I'm okay if I get a little paint on here, and I'm especially okay if I get some on the back where it's just white paper. So let's put this down, and this fabric's kind of stiff, so this may not be the easiest thing in the world, but we're gonna figure it out. I have some ideas. So let's put glue on here. And again, this is gonna be the spine. And just lay that down. Now I'm guessing, maybe we do want to cut the corners. Always afraid to do that because I don't want the cardboard to show. I always end up doing it like that, but that may be too much. Let's just go for it. Scared. And especially if it starts doing its unraveling thing and there's a lot of strings at the corner. But you know, I don't worry too much about anything like that because I feel like there's always a way to fix it. We could put big blobs of paint or something, or get some sort of embellishments to go there, or just trim the threads and let the cardboard show. I mean, it's showing on the front and back anyway. And I do have an idea about making all of this stay in place. So let's fold that. And then come right over here. And fold this over. And of course you can see we're going to have to add some more glue because this fabric doesn't have glue on it. It's laying on the glue that we put here. And we're not going to worry. Especially not right now. We're just in the beginning stages of this. Let's bring this over. And this may help too. This might just make it, you know, seem like this is what we wanted with the corners. So let's lay this down. And now I want to come up with a fabric to go over here on this side. That lets us see this beautiful green shiny fabric. And then, ooh, a piece of this would be really pretty. And we don't need much because we still want to have the green showing, I think. So let's cut right across here. And then we only need, I think we're going to come in about this far. We might put that on the outside. That's going to be so pretty. Let's go ahead and put more glue. That's it. We really don't want to get paint or glue on the outside of that. I think I needed to pull that over a little bit. If the glue gets on here, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I see a little spot there. It's going to dry clear. It might leave a little, you know, something that we don't necessarily want. Now, see, this is why I don't do the corners like that. But the fabric was also sticking to my fingers, so I think I was putting it down and then pulling it right back up, and it wasn't laying exactly where I wanted it to. But this is going to be fine. I think we want this to be the outside. So let's leave this right here. And this is going to be so pretty. So this is going to be, that's going to be the outside. It'll be more like that. And then the inside. Okay, I'm going to stop here because I think the video is getting kind of long. I'm going to try to show this entire process of building this journal. I see green paint on there, so I'm going to move these covers back over to dry, and we're going to leave the spine for all of the glue to dry, and I will be back with part 2. I'm going to go in and get my second cup of coffee and wash some dishes. Our dishwasher's not working right now. You know how it is. It's one thing after another. So I will be back to do part 2. Bye for now.